Hello and welcome to the second round of the Race Department Rally Championship and the Coffs Harbour Rally. Here we'll take a look at the WC class, and first out is Olli Kaupinen in the Citroen C4. Olli started the rally trying to get back into shape as he had not driven the car in a while. He used the 3 first stages as a warm-up and started to attack a little bit more from SS4. Let's go on board with a Finn on SS6, the final stage of the first day. This is the big jump on mine shaft, and Olli slows right down ahead of the big jump and saves his mechanics a lot of work by doing so. Into the second day of the rally and 8 more stages. Olli wasted no time and retired on the opening stage of the day after a violent crash into the forest. He recovered the car to do the rest of the stages, and in the end he was 15th overall and 12th in class, a minute behind John Cunningham, who was 1 step ahead and also driving a Citroen C4. John was having a left. He was having a good first day here at Coffs Harbour and was inside the top 10 at the end of the day. On the second day he was not as fortunate and had to retire on SS8 after puncturing his radiator on the previous stage. The Irishman was fast in the remainder of the day, being 5th fastest on SS10 and SS13, and claimed a 14th overall and 11th amongst the WRCs. This is on board of one of the fastest straights in the rally, where the cars reached the top speed on around 210 km an hour. Dubravko Šparovec brought his Ford Focus from a 10th position in Norway to try to do better here in Australia. He opened steady on the first 2 stages, but on SS3 he overdid the big jump we saw Kaupinen slow down for earlier, and damaged the engine so hard that the Ford had to retire just a few meters from the finish of the stage. Dubravko could finish day 1, but on the first stage of the second day he had to avoid some spectators and got stuck, so they had to help him back onto the road. This is on board through the village on SS7, I believe, and there's nothing wrong with the attack from the Croatian driver. Look at the neat and effective lines straight out of the handbook of rallying. Dubravko was fairly happy with his rally and he copied his 10th position from the opening event. Tero Leppanen is driving a Citroen C4 for Team FOS with Olli Kaupinen. Tero started very carefully as he struggled a bit with a car that felt slippery. This is from SS3 when he got more comfortable with the car and could push harder. It's quite a big jump, but still short enough to avoid any damage to the car. Moving on to SS7, the opening stage of day 2, where Tero was perhaps not fully sharpened, hitting a wall as the first thing he did. This is a stage that goes around in a loop, but Tero forgot that he had to do another lap and lost some time getting back onto the right way. He lost even more time on this spin on SS12, but still finished 7th in class in this round. And jumping in screaming into the picture is Fernando Agapito, who does this move on SS3. Fernando won the opening rally of Norway and is eager to copy that result here at Coffs Harbour Rally. And is doing very well on the first couple of stages, but this move on SS3 puts him a little further behind. Fernando pushed on the stage and did only lose 14 seconds to the winner, with a lengthy jump on him as well. On the opening stage of the second day, the team had applied the wrong setup to the car and Fernando suffered a time loss there, but not as severe on this very final stage. On the last stage, the Citroen's engine gave in and Fernando had to settle for a 6th position. Aleksi Kivela is driving an older Citroen Sara, but was very much on the ball here in Coffs Harbour Rally. Here's our cameraman here on SS1 and positioned himself within the top 10 throughout the rally. With no retirements and no off-road excursions that require health to get going again, Aleksi finished 5th in the rally and is very pleased with that. Jeff Feaker is also part of the Citroen Brigade in the RDRC and come to Coffs Harbour, hoping to reprise his good 4th position from Norway. Jeff had a dodgy start to the event and hold on as he goes on a roll on the first stage. Flicks the car back onto the wheels and loses not more than 10 seconds on the whole thing. A spin on SS2 and another one on SS3 puts him a bit back, and to top it off, Jeff do a 360 spin on the final stage of the day. It's a long jump for Jeff as well. And despite this huge rollover that requires some external help to get back onto the wheels on SS9, he climbed on day 2 to finish 4th once again. Magnar Haarstadsveen missed his home event in Norway and is back to revenge the points that he missed. As we can see, there was nothing wrong with his attack on the stages. Magnar used dry weather tires on the opening loop and reckons he lost some time on that choice. This is on SS2 and watches the dry tires make impact on the damp surface. He hits the trees head on, but no damage to the car and he can continue. And it's a long jump for Magnar as well. Magnar is continuously in the top 3, and that is exactly where he positioned himself in the Coffs Harbour Rally. Manuel Samaniego was absolutely flying in Norway, but finished 6th after a crash. Manuel is fast out of the block and wins SS2. He is in 2nd position in 4 of the 5 stages on the first day, but on SS6 he loses almost a minute to the stage winner. Let's go on board with the Mexican driver on SS6. This is going very fast, 4th and 5th gear corners. And oh, clips the wall on the inside there and gets thrown off the road into the opposite side. Let's see it again from the outside. He's a bit too far on his right side there and clips the wall and tumbles into the ditch. He gets some help to get going again and does a very short jump compared to many other drivers. Now this is on board SS13 and it's about to get ugly again. Miraculously the car ends up on his wheel and can continue to drive. Manuel wins SS7 and SS14 and finished second in the rally, over a minute behind the winner. Tiago Rodrigues joined the championship a week ahead of the rally, so the Coffs Harbour rally is his debut to the RDRC. In my mind, there is no better way of making your debut than winning 11 of the 14 stages and leave the opposition to eat your dust. And that was exactly what Tiago did. He stormed through day 1, winning 5 of the 6 stages in the Citroën C4. There's another one of those long jumps, but no heavy nosedive and no damage to the Citroën. Day 2 was almost as good as day 1 with 6 out of 8 stage wins. Look at the nice lines and full commitment through the village here. Despite leaving the road and getting help getting back on and therefore losing a minute on the final stage, Tiago is still over a minute ahead of the next driver in the overall. This only leaves us to look at the results, with Rodrigues leading an armada of Citroëns, and Darys Swiderski is best of non-Citroëns with the 8th position. Fernando Agapito then takes over the championship lead ahead of teammate Samaniego with Rodrigues in 3rd. Feaker, Atkins, Haarstadsveen, Bridges, Kivela, Masters and Kojo round out the top 10 in the overall classification after 2 rounds of the RDRC. Thanks for watching and check back later for more rallying here at racedepartment.com.